head out on the trail, I want to talk about a few things first. First, I want to discuss the meteor and the crater itself. Seems appropriate. Okay. The meteor was about 4.5 billion years old. It broke off from the asteroid belt about 500 million years ago, and then 50,000 years ago, finally made contact here and created this big old hole you see here behind me. The resulting crater was a little less than a mile in diameter in both directions, with a raised rim about 150 feet up from the desert floor and an initial depth of around 1,400 feet. The size of the meteorite that caused the crater, about 150 feet in diameter. It's about half the size of that bottom parking lot down there, which is pretty big, but not that big considering the hole that it left behind. However, you must consider the meteor was around 300,000 tons, traveling at 11 miles a second. It just barely missed our visitor center. However, in that case, 90% of the meteorite completely vaporized on impact because of the immense mass and energy behind it. This chunk right in front of me is the largest surviving fragment of the meteorite. This is 100% real. This is not a cast, this is not a replica. This once lived up in space and you guys can come touch it. And if you see kind of all these little silvery bits on it, these are from people touching it over the years and polishing it off. So if you folks want to come add to the polish, feel free. I want to get this thing shining, okay? So this chunk was actually found a couple miles in our backyard over there in Canyon Diablo. What we believe happened here is that this chunk broke off from the meteor as it entered the atmosphere. And because it broke off in kind of a smaller piece, less mass, less energy behind it, able to remain more intact once it made contact over there in Canyon Diablo. This piece in front of me, y'all, 1,406 pounds, or 638 kilos for anybody
right
else's
this time.
measuring system. Sorry?
Right now, this time, the weight.
1,406 pounds, 638 kilos. It's so heavy because of its composition. It's about 92% iron, 7% nickel, 0.5% cobalt, and then the other 0.5 is around 81 different trace elements that we have here on Earth. So around half the periodic table is just right here in front of me, you guys. So this chunk was actually found when this land was purchased for mining. In 1902, a Philadelphia mining engineer named Daniel Moreau Beringer, he came out here and he reasoned that if this was indeed a meteorite impact crater, then there must be a giant meteorite living inside of it that he can then mine and sell for profit. However, unbeknownst to him, and like I just told you guys, 90% of that meteorite completely vaporized on impact. He kind of wasted a lot of his money trying to find it. He invested around $500,000 to mine the crater. You got to keep in mind that's $500,000 in 1902 money. So like 7-8 million today. And they say that inside of the crater itself, he never found anything bigger than golf ball, baseball sized chunks of that meteorite.